Hi there, and good afternoon. I'm Raleigh Brown. This is another curve flattening concert. Folks are starting to troop in on my chat list here. I see Keith Shaw and Stephen DeHaas both on YouTube today. And Rhonda and Steve Edelman, pardon me, Audrey Bernheimer, Jay Dusenberry. Jay, I hope you are doing okay. I will read that long thing afterwards, but my heart is with you, buddy. I hope that arm is getting better. Debbie Moore is here, and Steve Walker, who I got to see at Folk Fest. We had a nice little talk, and like that. So we're getting ready to start here. I think I can get a shot of the boy. I have a photo of him, but the mic stand is kind of in the way. But there he is. He's got a pile of toys in front of him. I'm not sure if I don't think I can zoom in on him, but he's in his resting mode now until the concert's over. And so we'll come back over here, and we'll bring that up to about there, and then we'll bring it down to about here, and that should. And then I think I have to do this, and we're good. Okay, and so I welcome you aboard. Charlie welcomes you. Charlie's picture for today, he was playing with his B-A-L-L. So there's a picture of him with his B-A-L-L firmly grasped in his mouth, offering it to me. He would have given it to me if I had asked him for it. And that's his action shot for the day. And I see other folks are coming in here. David Arthur Radcliffe in the UK, and Warren Bendler in Cleveland Heights, South Euclid, Ohio, and Johnson Hogg in France, and Ann Mintz in the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia, and Carol Pratt is here from Mentor, Ohio, S.A. Tudhope in the Great Northwest. Ankur Anand, I do not know where you're from, but thank you for stopping by here on YouTube. I'll play you some music if you wait a minute or two. And Steve Davidson, who I also saw briefly at the Folk Festival, and Debbie Daniels. It's a very nice time there. I'll tell you a little bit more about it as we go along. So I will clink you a little clink hello with the clinkophonic mug. There it is, clink. And Ann Mintz's most useful gift ever. And here we go. So I got ready to do the concert this week. I thought, well, what tunes will I do? And I listened to a version of David Mallet, who's a guy I knew years and years ago, playing "Girl from the North Country." And I listened to it and I thought, I want to play it my way. I like my way better than his way. So one of the great early Bob Dylan songs. Well, if you're traveling to the North Country Fair, where the wind hits heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine. And if you go when the snowflakes storm, when the rivers freeze and summer ends, please see she has a coat so warm to keep her from them howling winds. Please see that her hair's hanging down, how it rolls and flows all down her breast. Please see for me that her hair's hanging down, for that's the way I remember her the best. Well, I'm wondering if she remembers me at all. Many times I've often prayed in the darkness of my nights and in the brightness of my day. So if you're traveling to the North Country Fair, where the wind hits heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. So Girl from the North Country by Bob Dylan. And let me see who else has shown up here in the interim. Bruce McNeil, and I see Bruce signed up for the Guitar Workshop. I'll talk a little more about that later. And Ellen O'Brien, my good friend. Dave Mason is here from Scotland, and Mike Verbeek from the Pittsburgh area, I believe. And Mike Schnabel from Allentown, Jim Greco from up there near Rochester, New York, and Bunny Barnes is here. Bunny, I just sent you a text before to see if you're going to play this week, so let me know. Let us all know. And Kate Mack is here from the West Coast, Rita Rubin Long from Portland, Maine, and my dear old friend, and Charlie Bryant from the People's Republic of Montgomery County, Maryland, and a bloke from England, and they're still pouring in. Gene Galligan down there in northeastern North Carolina, and Chris Layden out there in Colorado, and like Donna Greenberg in Center City, Philly, Alex Bevan in Madison, Ohio, my dear friend, and like that. And Bunny Barnes says she's signing up for the Guitar Workshop. We're going to have fun. But as I said, I'll talk about that at announcement time. So after I decided to do Girl from the North Country, I thought maybe I can do all my singing songs will be kind of young, unrequited love songs today. So I have 3 young, unrequited love songs that I really like a lot, and I'm going to sing them for you. That was the first one. This one I wrote, and I wrote it when I was young, and I was unrequited. What are you gonna do? You can't win them all. So this is called "I Had a Dream About You." Well, I had a dream about you. I woke up thinking of you, remembering of hearing of the hard times that you'd seen. And I remember you were moving to Kentucky or Virginia, and I heard about your hard times, and I wondered how you've been. Well, it's 4 years since I've seen you, and 8 years since I loved you, and I had no love before you, though I've been in love since then. I recall the sweetness of it. You were young and warm and quiet, and I hoped that you would always consider me your friend. And I heard about your marriage, how he was old and you were younger, and of how it burst asunder, and you went back home to stay. And I prayed that you weren't bitter, for your youth was so much sweeter. And I hope you're sometimes smiling, and you'll someday pass my way. Well, I had a dream about you. I woke up thinking of you, remembering of hearing of the hard times that you'd seen. And I remember you were moving to Kentucky or Virginia, and I heard about your hard times, and I wondered how you've been. I had a dream about you, about a young love of mine who I still think very kindly of. Even though she dumped me, it was okay. I understood. So let me see what we got here of other people. I see some other people coming in. I said hi to Donna. I said hi to Steve. Robert Boyce is here. Robert came back from the West Coast for the Philly Folk Festival. I hadn't seen him probably in 40 years, and except here on the interwebs in 2 dimensions. And now he's back in Springfield, Oregon, and it was really great to catch up with him. We talked a lot. He is friends with my online dog trainer, Grisha Stewart, and it was just a great meetup. He came to a lot of the workshops I did, and it was really good to see him again. And if you got any good photos, Robert, send them on to me. I'm always looking for good photos from the festival. And Susan Bartels is here. Hi, Suzanne. And good to see you as well. She's local here and a singer in her own right. So like that. Now it's time for announcements, and let me go through these. So on September 15th, which is just about 3 weeks off, I will be Ann Mintz is sponsoring a house concert with Girls from Mars. Now, Girls from Mars are a great trio of women who sing swing and jazz harmonies, and they're each good right on their own. It's Annie Patterson, who now lives in Western Mass and is one of the co-authors of the book Rise Up Singing. Lauren Jansen, who lives out in New Mexico, and Wendy Bourne, my dear friend who lives right here in southeast Pennsylvania. And every so often they do a gig where they're kind enough to invite me to sit in with them and play some backup guitar. So I'll be doing that at the house concert at Ann's house on 9/15. And if you're in the area and you want to come to that, you could text or email Ann at annmintz@mindspring.com. Then on 9/25, which is a Wednesday night, you may remember a couple weeks ago I did I dedicated a show to my late friend Happy Traum, and and Dave Fry, who also was very fond of Happy, was on that show. Dave runs Godfrey Daniels Coffee, Godfrey Daniels Coffee House in Bethlehem, PA. He doesn't run it all by himself, but he does help run it. And he got in touch with me after and said, hey, why don't we do a night of that on one of my Dave's Night Out things, which he does one Wednesday a month. So we're doing that on 9/25. And then on 10/5 on October 5th, the Saturday, I will be doing a house concert at Ann's house, Ann Mintz's house in the Mount Airy section of West Philadelphia. Ann just put her email up there. And I will be doing an afternoon workshop, guitar workshop, from 4 till 6. There will be an hour on intermediate solo blues guitar and an hour of Ask Me Anything. And if you don't have anything to ask, I'll think of stuff to teach you. So that'll be an afternoon workshop, and then I will we'll take a break, and at 8 o'clock I'll do a concert. Now, there is a rumor, an unsubstantiated rumor, that my sister of sorts, Marcy Marxer, may be in town with me that day, so she may come out and play a couple tunes with me on that concert, which would really be fun. You will love Marcy. She's up there on my Facebook page on my cover photo right now, because Marcy and I got to do a workshop together at the Philadelphia Folk Festival, which was just a jam, and it was like we just got up there and said, well, if Marcy came up and we were in each other, in my living room, this is what we would do. And we sat there and said, hey, you want to play the red-haired boy? Okay, why don't you sing one and I'll play backup? And we got through a whole hour of doing that, and it was really nice and laid back. It was what I think folk festivals should kind of be like in some ways, instead of big, high energy. I mean, there's a place for high energy stuff too, don't get me wrong. Anyhow, that was lovely, and Marcy is going to be passing through around October 5th, so we may have her with us. And other announcements? Well, that folk festival was a great one for me. I got to sit up on stage with J.P. Cormier, who's a tremendous guitar player, a young, he's probably 45 or so, singer-songwriter from Australia named Nigel Werns, who was also very good, really good guitar player. And I got to do a workshop with Jonathan Dichter, who's another local guitarist. And we did a bunch of stuff together, and then I taught a couple classes, and like that. It was very good, and I saw people. Roy Bookbinder came up and said hi to me, which usually he doesn't even know who I am. But that's not totally true. But we're like musical colleagues, but we're not like this or anything. And he made it a point to come up to the stage and say hello. And I saw a bunch of other people, old friends. Bunny was there for a day. I think I saw her I guess she was there for at least 2 days. And that's always great. It was nice to have her in the audience. And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. So those are my gigs. The PayPal link is here as usual, and the Venmo if you'd like to contribute something. And that's up there through the whole concert. You can copy down the particulars, paypal.me/Raleigh Brown, and you can leave a little something. And then there are invisibles. They include Joel Biget, Mario Prue, George Young, Lori Payne, who may be here. I think somebody said Lori's here. And Kit Serikaku, who's Lori's sister and my old high school buddy, and Judith Fox, who hasn't been around lately, but she's a busy woman, so that's okay. And Charlie Bryan says, Alex Bevan, my hero from way back. I don't blame you. He's my hero too, and like that. So that's that part. The schedule coming up, I'm on now. I think tomorrow night, Thursday at 7 o'clock Central Time, Helen Avakian and David Irwin may be doing their stream. And then on Friday, Slim is doing a 3:30 show. And Bunny, did you say whether you're doing anything or not? And Bunny Barnes says, Roy said in his concert how you do Reverend Gary Davis far better than he could ever hope to. Well, I was thinking about Roy, it's like, I think, Reverend Gary Davis didn't want people to just be him. He wanted to help them find out who they were. And I have it on good authority. I think it was from Stephen Grossman. Stephen Grossman said that one time the Reverend heard Jorma playing, and he said to Stephen Grossman, and Stephen was thinking, well, he doesn't sound much like the Reverend, and and the Reverend said to him, yeah, I like what he's doing. He's really playing his own style, So I think what Roy did was Roy studied with the Reverend and really picked up some of the essence of what the Reverend does musically, and then Roy just did what he does, and he became a great storyteller and a good, solid guitar player, plays, in a lot of styles like John Hurt or Pink Anderson, and also some Gary Davis stuff. And let me find out what this is and get rid of it in a hurry. I have a feeling it will be Decline. And that's Jonathan Dichter trying to call me online. He probably doesn't know that I'm doing a thing right now. So I am going to write, pardon me for a moment. And I might have to go turn my phone off too. Of all the time. Okay, let's get back to business here. Sorry for that interruption. Where was I? So anyhow, I think what Roy does really well is Roy took the lessons he learned from Gary Davis and really put together his own style, and that's lovely. I love listening to Roy tell stories and play songs. He's deep in the tradition, So anyhow, I went into that digression because Bunny posted that. And no 3 for this Friday for Bunny. Okay, so Slim at 3:30 on Friday, 3:30 Eastern Time. Warren at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and I'll be back Sunday morning. And I'm talking too much and not playing enough music. So we are now going to get into the instrumental tune for today. And this one is off the... not about young unrequited love, although it might be about requited love, I'm not sure, or unrequited love. It's about a person, a woman. So let me get over here. Connie Adams is here. Deb Libby Clark is here. Deb Libby Clark is on one of those Viking River tours right now, headed to Amsterdam on the Rhine, and she's listening to me. What a loyal friend is she. And Susan Bartels, if you look on the page right here, underneath where it says PayPal me, it says at Roland-Brown-8 is my Venmo address. Okay, and thanks for asking. And that means I think I've said hello to everybody again. Deb Libby Clark, I love you. I hope you're having a great time over there with CJ. Now, the instrumental for today, a little bit of jazz. One of my favorite arcane sounding jazz tunes. This is called Stella by Starlight. Stella by Starlight. I've told you the story that when I first wanted to learn how to play jazz, I got a copy of Joe Pass's Virtuoso album and listened to that. That was the first song on the album, I think. And I, the combination of how abstract Joe Pass's playing was and how arcane that melody and chord progression is, I just said, no, I'm not going to learn jazz yet. Put that away. Go back to my ragtime. And that was that. So anyhow, I'm down to my last song, and we're running a little later than usual. I'm usually done by the end of a half hour. And I see there's lots of interesting stuff being written here, and I am not going to be able to read it right now, but I will come back later and read all this stuff. A lot of times I come back and read comments, and I will answer you if you ask something. Susan Bartels asked if I wanted to play Lazy Bones. And, Sundays I do a request concert, but these Wednesday concerts I usually have an idea in my head, and I have my set list, and I rarely call any audibles. So thank you for joining me. I love you guys. And this song is by a mutual friend of mine and Charlie Bryant, a guy named Jeff Deichman, who's a wonderful songwriter and person, and used to live in the D.C. area or in Baltimore, and now lives out in California, Northern California. So this is called, it's another unrequited young love song. And one of my favorites, too. It's a really well-written song, I think. And it's called Gold-Haired Girl. You know, I've seen some trouble, seen some troubled times. I almost had a gold-haired girl. I couldn't make her mine. Just a kid, they tell me. Just a child, they say. I never knew a woman who could make me feel this way. And you know, I've had some fortune every now and then. I found $1 on the ground. I held it in my hand. I turned that dollar over every which way. I couldn't find an angle or to make that dollar pay. So I spent it wisely. I bought a pint of rye. It wasn't that I felt so bad, just didn't want to try. This boy sings for pennies, this boy sings for booze. Swallow sings in the early spring, or any time she chooses. So now you've heard my story, now you've heard my song. I caught the train at Silver Spring. To DuPont I am gone. I wish I had that dollar, wish I had a dime. I wish I had that gold-haired girl sung clean off my mind. happy and be healthy. Be kind. Oops, I almost screwed up my own mantra. Be brave and be calm. Be kind. It's a snap. If you get cranky, as my buddy Alex Bevan would say, take a nap. Thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll hope to see you on Sunday morning at 10:30. Bye-bye.